The night was dark like obsidian. The headlights cut through the darkness swiftly as the reliable motor made a reassuring humming noise. Not an expensive car, not a cheap car. Back then, things were so much simpler and free. Joyful life moments of happiness in a young mind still curious, with an entire life ahead of them. Destiny still to be fulfilled, life to be defined. Laughter periodically escaped mother's lips, as father and she were in high spirits, and the children in the back seat were half asleep, half dozing, as the world drifted on by, like some kind of mirage through their side windows. It was a pleasant, cool summer night, and I still remember the memory of these younger years with fondness of good things to come. Oh, to be that age again, unsure of the world, with only expectations mirroring your every next step of this life. So new, so vibrant. The long road wound through the countryside. Father was an artist, open-minded and always seeking the beauty in life. He had an eye for catching these spectacular moments that one's memory would only recall fleetingly. His ability allowed him to cement these moments in reality, usually into a photo caught at such precise timing that only one would think it was magic. Mother was the caring, loving kind, a teacher and one that fit perfectly in her profession, with such a good heart and disposition, suited so well for her craft. The parents' casual banter continued through the night as they drove onwards. They were close, and the love they shared was apparent. Siblings so tired from the day, half awake, half asleep. Their journey continued for some time. Suddenly, an awakening, an abrupt start, a slowing of motion, the revs from the engine dying off as power seemed to slowly but surely remove itself from the equation. The car continued only of its own speed's accord, gradually slowing down. "What the hell? The engine just died," stated father. "What's happened?" questioned mother. "I have no idea, but look up ahead there," exclaimed father. Up in the distance, as the car slowed to a halt, other cars on the side of the road could be seen. Father steers the car in the same position to the side of the road, just a few meters behind the closest car as they come to a final halt. "Are you seeing this?" father gasps in disbelief. Along the country road many cars can be seen abandoned on either side of the road. All in the relatively same vicinity, they look scattered, and the disbelief of fellow travellers is apparent in the other car's positioning. What has caught father's attention at first, though quickly has moved to something unbelievable. If I hadn't seen it with my own two eyes, I still wouldn't believe reading it now as you are, or may care to interpret, depending on your disposition towards such things. A floating disc, levitating in the fields, a few hundred meters off the road can be seen, casting great light, and lo and behold there are all the passengers from the vehicles, all gathered close and in small family units in absolute awe of this marvel. The lights emitting from this craft are of all the colors of this world and more, and the way they dazzle and align is something not seen before. Here it is, father's excitement level hitting critical. I knew it wouldn't be long until they came. I was just reading the other day. Amazing, mother says, almost lost for words. Come, come, let's join all those others. This is going to start a new age. First contact, can you believe it? Father, collecting the children, and mother rushing over to join the gobsmacked awe-filled crowd. As they rush to walk closer, they can hear muttering from others. "This is something else. Out of this world. What do you think they want?" With a display like this, I can only imagine the prosperity our planet is going to experience. "Truly remarkable," says another group. I can only remember the absolute awe of the experience at this point, as my sister, stunned little children, and I exchange glances. Time passes as the crowd, almost hypnotized by the light show emanating from the interstellar ship, continue to speculate, and every now and then another car is brought to a stop and added to the collective group. "How long has this been here?" inquires father to another group. "We aren't sure, but we think one of the first here was over there." They point to a young couple closer to the front of the group that sits on the perimeter that has been unconsciously decided as a safe distance from the spectacle of lights being cast from beneath the great craft. The disc itself is a massive silver disc floating in the air, rotating slowly. Power source unknown. Propulsion completely unknown. The only notable and discerning thing is the light, and lacking the word to describe such a display of brilliance, of superior technology, of absolute beauty. Something so amazing to keep this crowd collected together, just gazing at its stunning image for so long, and for how long. "When do you think they will say hello?" can be heard from someone in the crowd. Father whispers to mother, "Stay right here. I just want to ask that young couple if anything's changed since it arrived. I'll be right back, okay? Don't go anywhere." "Okay, don't be long though," mother says, eyes still locked with the holographic bewildering light show that doesn't cease to shift into something more glorious than its every last instance. Father has reached the couple, but I can't hear what they are saying over the musings and chattering of the enthralled crowd. What I do notice, though, is that for a while now no new members have been added to our fairly decently sized assemblage, and only a few other groups stand behind my sister, mother, and I. Altogether, if I had to guess, I'd say there were maybe around a couple of hundred people accumulated. Distracted and immobilized from their previous journeys, and any thoughts previously they had circulating through their minds discarded at once upon encountering the lights. These lights, like a million fluorescent fireflies, and then all at once into a million light beams, entwining, synchronous, and ensnaring the crowd. The lights that could only convey peace and well-being from the purity of the color and the brazen projection, for all lucky enough to be traveling past to see. Then, suddenly, everything changed. Darkness fell. Silence. The crowd, coming to a realization of the reality of them mewing under an unknown craft in a field in the middle of nowhere in the dark of night, suddenly hit everyone hard. You could hear a pin drop. The mood so strong it stifled the very air. This entire time everyone dared not let thoughts drift to more sinister domains. Maybe keeping optimism was the only way for the mind to survive such an encounter. Maybe it was the trance induced by the hypnotic light display. It mattered not. For in the brief time the lights went out, in that moment it was as if every single living being present there collectively held their breath, waiting for the moment to pass to reveal what was to come. Sadly, it was pure horror. Rapidly descending came the nightmare-like figures, dark shadows outlining inhuman twisted forms. These things moved fast, Oh, how unfathomably fast they were. Dropping to the ground so quickly, or was it more like floating, or did they just appear? The lines of reality at this moment blurred. Either way, they were on the ground in seconds, and they swept through the crowd like apex predators through a herd. Like demons howling at night, the terror swept through the crowd as they were all quickly dispatched, before even having seconds to react. Maybe the people on the furthest edge of the crowd had half a minute at most to desperately attempt to flee in the opposite direction in a futile attempt at salvation. But it was far, far too late to escape. I tried to hold on to my sister's hand, but she was suddenly gone. I reached for my mother, but the world blurred. A blackness rushed toward me, impossibly fast, and then nothing.